A problem, guys. I was just out apple picking, having a great time, but then on our way home the Jeep started overheating, and it's kind of done this intermittently for a little while, but it's definitely gotten worse. So we're gonna go ahead and try to do some stuff. We went into O'Reilly's, talked to the guys in there. They think there's air in the system. I did have my coolant flushed recently, so it's possible that there might be some air in the system. We're gonna go ahead and get into it in the video. This isn't the video I really wanted to make today, but it's the video we're getting. So obviously you don't want to drive with your engine overheating, as that could actually cause some really serious damage. So gonna let it cool off here a little bit. They are going to get a part from me from their warehouse. So we already have a kit to go on top of here to bleed any air out of the system. That's going to be step number one. Step number two is we may have to replace the thermostat, which in this Jeep it actually fails in the open position, so it would actually run too cold versus too hot. So it's probably not that, but just to have one on hand is going to be good in case we do end up needing it later. So we're going to let this cool down a little bit more and then give it a shot. It's already cool to the touch, but these things can actually have pressurized like air and fluid behind them. So if I was to open this with it still too hot, it could actually like spray hot hot coolant on me, which would obviously not be good.
There you go. It's going.
All right.
I wouldn't go too much though. Just make sure when you.
There's a guy who works here at O'Reilly's. He came over and he was really nice and helped me figure some things out because the instructions weren't quite clear on how to do this. So now, anyways, we're gonna follow the instructions on this paper. You guys, this is not a how-to mechanic video. I am not a mechanic. If you screw up your car, that is your own fault, not mine. I'm just in an O'Reilly's parking lot trying to figure this out. The internet is telling me to turn the Jeep on now and put the heat on high. Alright, that is happening. So we'll see if that does anything. Supposedly little bubbles are supposed to be coming out here. I'm not seeing any just yet, so I guess we'll find out together.
It might overflow. It started bubbling a lot.
It started bubbling a lot? Like lots of bubbles coming
Yeah,
out?
and then it got big, like went up. Oh, it's doing it again.
Like air bubbles?
Yeah.
Nice. So essentially the guys in O'Reilly's here, let's step over here so that way we don't hear the thing, but essentially the fan is really loud right now. The guys in O'Reilly's basically said that it is a probably air in the lines. They're not like mechanics, they can't like actually diagnose it, they're not actually looking at it, but they said that it's probably air in the coolant system somewhere. So I went ahead and I got this contraption that we kind of showed you, and we're trying to bleed the air out of the system. This is my first time doing it. Susanna said that she saw air bubbles coming out when I was inside revving the Jeep. The instructions said not to rev the Jeep, but Google said to rev the Jeep, so I wasn't sure what to do. But air bubbles came out. And I don't know if we're just good now or what, but I think maybe we should turn it off, let it cool, and get down the road to find out. The Jeep is still getting hotter than it should, so we were gonna take the back roads instead of the highway. It's not like officially overheating yet, but I can tell it's heading in that direction. So we're gonna take it easy. If we need to stop to let it cool down for a while, we'll do that. It's anybody's guess at this point. So I guess I'll kind of tell you what we've been through already. So about like when we got the Jeep, like less than a year ago, the thermostat went out, so we replaced that. The thermostat fails in the open position. So in other words, if the thermostat failed, then it should run really, like it should run under temperature actually. But the fact that it's running over temperature right now is telling us that it's probably not the thermostat in this particular Jeep from my own experience. Again, I'm not a mechanic. So we're just gonna keep driving it and hopefully it won't overheat. If it does get into the red zone, then we're just gonna have to pull over and wait for a little bit until we can drive again. I'm thinking it's probably at this point the water pump, because it could be the radiator being clogged, which as you saw in the video, there's plenty of fluid flowing through that radiator. So I don't think it's the radiator being clogged. I mean, it was like overflowing the tube. Let's see, what was the other common thing? Or air in the system, which is kind of what we just tried to solve. So probably just spent like $60 for nothing, but I'm thinking it's probably the water pump. Now, we do have a reliable, great mechanic in North Carolina, and thankfully we are towing it behind the RV. So if we can get to North Carolina, then I know we're golden. We'll be fine. Even if the engine has to be rebuilt or anything, like I have a guy in North Carolina that I trust with my vehicles. But here in Vermont, I don't know anybody. We did call a shop to see if they could get us in, and they're booked a month out. So obviously if somebody's booked a month out, that's not gonna work. So yeah, that's kind of where we're at with this, just trying to baby our Jeep. We love this Jeep. We love the fact that we have a tow vehicle that we can just drive around with once we're parked. But ultimately, we need something that's reliable and that works all the time. And up until now, this Jeep has been like really reliable. It's been great. We're at 142,670 miles. I regret I let a quick lube, a Jiffy quick lube, or one of those places, I don't know if it was Jiffy or Valvoline or some other one, but I let them do a coolant flush. And I don't know if that's what actually did this, because the issue did not start until recently. And we had that coolant flush done like maybe a couple months ago now. So I don't even think that it was that coolant flush. So I guess I'm just rambling at this point. All right, you guys might be thinking that I'm really irresponsible driving with no hands, going down the road, but let me show you what's going on. We overheated, our friend is towing us, and that's basically it until we get to a mechanic who's gonna tell us what is really gonna happen. And I'm guessing at this point it's gonna be a water pump. So this is so weird driving with like being towed, but there wasn't room enough in their truck for us to be in there with them, so this is what we literally have to do. But I feel like I'm tailgating the guy. Like, I don't know if I should just sit in the back seat if I'll feel better. Like, I don't know. F-150 is doing the job though, I can tell you that. I'm out here with the Jeep. We have actually solved the problem. Thankfully, I did not need to take it to a mechanic. It was an issue that we actually had about less than a year ago. Different issue with this. It's the thermostat. which blew my mind that that would be what the issue actually is. But while we were at the parts store, remember, I just bought one just in case, and turns out that's what it was. So there's a lot of videos online about how to replace the thermostat on this Jeep, but I'll show you where it's at. This is not like a how-to video or anything, but the thermostat is literally right here. So I took off the air intake tube that goes from the air intake into the throttle body housing, and then replaced the thermostat. I bled it. I bled the system for air. So now there should be no air in the system, and we have a new thermostat. I took it for a test drive. It worked great, but I usually, when I replace the thermostat on these Jeeps, I bleed it twice. Once when I install it, and then once when I get back from the first test drive. You know, you gotta like let it cool first a little bit. Yeah, let it, always when you're doing cooling system stuff, always let it cool before you work on it, because you could get burnt. This is serious business. Anyways, I wanted to share that with you. Here is my Jeep hack of working on a Jeep. I don't know how well you can see this, but I'm sitting on my bumper, and my bumper has the tow bar. So I'm actually like sitting on these chains right now, and that gives me pretty much the perfect seat to go ahead and work on stuff in the engine. So I can work on my Jeep engine while I am sitting down. So that's a pretty good perk. Anyways, thanks so much for watching. Don't forget to subscribe, and life on the road is not all dreams. This, you know, we've been having a lot of issues lately. If you know, we had 2 of our solar panels break. We had our tow Jeep break. Our generator just randomly stopped working, then randomly started working again, but we have the replacement part now just in case. In the future, I might hold, like, I might just have a thermostat just in the Jeep in the future, just an extra one in case I have to replace it. Seems like a commonly failed part, and we'll see you in the next one.